What's up, everybody? It's Sunday. What am I doing here? I should have been on Friday night, but I like to change things up. So I was going to do a video today. My other video that I did 2 weeks ago is still not out. He's been in contact with me. He's just really busy, so that video is coming out. But I just want to say hi. I was going to do a video this morning on the next topic. It's a topic that I get asked quite a bit. And again, when I woke up this morning, there was a personal message in my work email on when I had my near death experience, why I left Christianity. And that was going to be the topic of the video that I was going to do today. But I'm like, you know what? I didn't come on Friday night when I was scheduled. And I'm like, you know what? Let's throw them off. Let's do something today. So instead of doing the normal video that I would do for the channel, which I'll still do, I just thought, you know what? Let's do a Sunday morning live. Why not? See how everybody's doing. So what I want to talk about is what was asked of me, when I had my near-death experience. And if all of you who have been following me for any length of time know that I grew up Christian. I grew up a Catholic through my grandparents. My mom and dad, I don't even know if they were religious at all. They had no say in anything. It was my grandparents on my father's side that I got all my religion through. All right. So I was, for all and practical purposes, up until my death, a believer in heaven and hell, good and bad, right and wrong, the devil and heaven and hell and all of that crap. So the question that I woke up to this morning, hey, I saw your video on your near-death experience. Why did you leave Christianity? And I was like, really? I mean, I've said this 100 million times, but to all those that don't know my channel or have not watched any of the videos that I have done on why I left Christianity. And I'll be very blunt and honest with you guys, because it's a lie. It's all a sham. It's meant to keep you living in fear. It is a man-made institution. And believe it or not, whether you want to or not, they know without question, hesitation, or doubts what they are doing to you all. All right. In the moment of my transition, when I left my body, when I was ensconced in that absolute love and that light of my Father, of being home, of nirvana bliss, knowing exactly who and what I am, I knew everything there was to ever know in a trillionth of a second. I knew where I was. I knew what everything was. So when I came back, especially when I got out of the ICU and came back home here, I was angry. I was pissed off. Why? Because everything that I was ever taught through Catholic school, through, my 2 years in the Catholic school, having the Bible shoved down my throat for 2 years, CCD, Sunday school, the whole works during the 1970s and during the 1970s, that was my purpose, my life. I believed in it all. And then when I came back into my body from what you call heaven, I knew the truth, that it was all a lie, that it was all a sham, that it wasn't real. It was an oppressive organization meant to keep you living in fear. Christianity knows exactly who Jesus was, what his purpose was, what he was teaching. And what did they do to the being that you know as Jesus Christ? Or his real name here when he was here 2 millennia ago was Yeshua Bar Yosef, a Jew born 2 millennia ago into an occupied country by the Roman Empire. A man no different than me, just his timeline was 2 millennia ago. What he was teaching is what the Catholic Church is hiding from you. The truth of who we are. And in that moment of my death, that is exactly what I found out, who I am. I am, and this has pissed off a lot of people, and I'm glad it does, and that's fine. I am God. All of you are God. Every single one of you people, beings walking this earth is God. And the Catholic Church knows this. They're not hiding Jesus's bloodline, ladies and gentlemen. They could give a shit about that. All right? They don't care about his children. What they do care about, and why they went into the Crusades not once but twice, was to scoop up every bit of information pertaining to what he was doing, what he was teaching, and hid it in the Vatican archives where nobody is allowed to go. Why? Why is nobody allowed to go down there and read that information? The gospel of Jesus himself, the gospel of his wife, the gospel of Thomas, and all of that other stuff. The truth lies buried by the church, the largest and most powerful institution to walk this earth for millennia. So when I was asked the question, Jason, why did you leave after your death the Catholic Church? Why did you quit becoming a Christian? Because of the lie, the deceit, the manipulation of the church to keep you living in fear, to keep you afraid, to keep you coming to them, to keep paying them for your services so you can be forgiven. Forgiven for what? You've done nothing wrong, as I explained in many of my other videos, right? You've done nothing wrong. We're all on a journey, ladies and gentlemen. We've all come into this physical reality as gods to experience and to become who we are through any given point in this timeline that you are in. So what you are experiencing, you are creating through your thoughts. And if that's not who you are and who you choose to be at that given point in time, then what do? You change your thoughts, and then you become something else. You move into a different job. You find a different wife. You have, or you finally start a family. You are figuring out who you are. I know who I am. I experienced it in my own death. When I drowned in my own blood, I experienced nirvana. I experienced home. I experienced my Father. I joined, as Jesus said, I and the Father are one. My consciousness is that of my Father, of God. Yours is the same thing. You all have just forgotten who you are. And that is why I left Christianity, because it's a lie. It's meant to keep you living in fear. Pure and simple. That's it. That's its only function. You mean to tell me that when you go there every Sunday to sing praises to God because you fornicated, you had an affair, you drank, you did drugs, you beat somebody up, you may have raped somebody, hell, you might have even killed somebody, right? And you go there because, oh my God, there's a human God up there in heaven that's waiting to smite thee if I don't bow and sing praises to him and give this institution money so I can, some guy standing in robes can forgive me. What a joke. Please. So that is why I left Christianity. This is why I started my channel. This is why I started my website, where people can actually come and talk to me one-on-one. That I need you guys to wake up to the truth of who you are. Fear is an illusion. It doesn't exist. Your perception of right, wrong, good, or bad is just that. It's a relative term. Who you were last year, your right and wrong, no longer serves you. So how can that be the truth of who you are then? It can't, because it's constantly changing. We live in opposites, right? We have love. We only have two emotions, guys: love and fear. 99% of the population live right here. Why? Because you don't have money, you don't have wealth, you don't have fame, you don't have success, you're struggling to put food on the table, you're barely keeping yourselves under control, trying to keep your kids safe. Your institutions are meant to keep you living in fear. The church says you're nothing but a goddamn worthless sinner, and you'll be lucky to be saved if the book of Revelations is real, which I did a video on that, which it's not. Nobody's going to come and stand in the sky and say, okay, all of you, y'all, you're good enough to come. The rest of you, sorry, you're garbage. Come on, please. It's so absurd. It's not even funny. A lot of these illnesses going around lately. It's a result of the great shift. Yeah. And I told you guys that disease doesn't exist. All right. Disease exists in your mind. Remember who you are. You all misunderstand how powerful you are. If I were to ask you all, does cancer exist? Is cancer real? All of you would raise your hand and say, yeah. There you go. That statement alone will bring cancer into your life. Why? You are a God. You create it. Therefore, you saying, I believe in cancer, therefore you give it power. Therefore, you can get it. Or you already gave it to yourself. That's how powerful you are, guys. All right? The church knows this. If you figure out who you are, like I did in my own death, when I went into nirvana, when I returned home to oneness with Father, I and the Father are one. I said it differently. For all that I am you, right? I left all fear behind. There's nothing that I'm afraid of, nothing, because it's not real. But we live in opposites, though. Without love, how do we know what fear is? If we love, how do we know what hate is? We can't until they come into relativity with each other. When you run into somebody that truly hates your guts, and you're like, what did I do? I didn't do anything wrong. I just said hi. But they hate you. And you're feeling that energy exchange. You don't like it. It's making you feel uncomfortable. Why? Your energy is just higher than theirs. They don't like it. So they immediately, I don't like this person. I hate your guts. That's just because you're above them, not any better than them. Your energy is just higher than them. So if your energy is low enough and you're believing in fear, you're believing in hate, you're believing in death, if you're believing in all of that, you're going to attract all that negativity to you because that is your consciousness. That is your perception of what you are seeing in the relative world that we live in this physical realm. That's all you're going to attract. So the illnesses that you're seeing, the mass consciousness out there is bringing that into them. Okay, so what you see in the world today and all those illnesses is what they're believing, including you. Right? That it's coming, that it's here, that we're all a part of this. We can change everything right now, guys, as a collective consciousness. We just need to come together. You know it in the Bible as the 144,000, right? Of those higher beings, those that have manifested, such as myself, and ascended, we all come together as a collective and fix the earth. Hey there. Have I ever done a vision board? No, I have not. Good morning to you, by the way. So that is why I left Christianity, because it's a scam. It's lies, deceit, and treachery and manipulation of those that are suffering, those that are terrified of, a man-made demon or, entity that doesn't exist. And I did this in this video that I have coming out that it still hasn't come out. That's why I've done this live today, to tell you guys that it is coming. He's just beyond swamped. So be patient with it. I am going to do what I talked about today in another video on why I left Christianity. I'll just go into more depth there. But when I woke up to those messages today, it's like, are you kidding me? I was like, I've explained this before, but that's okay. I mean, that's okay. I love you guys. I will keep explaining it until you guys can fully understand who you are. You need to wake up. You need to quit living in fear. Do not fear death. Fear is, again, it's the opposite of what you call life. It is intricately in tune with one another. There is no death. It does not exist. You simply transition into a different form. Remember, we simply exist as energy, guys. That's it. This body isn't real. It's simply a suit that we walk around in to get around in this physical realm, just like astronauts use a spacesuit when they go into space. Is that defining them and who they are? So don't look at yourself as a male. Don't look at yourself as a female because you got boobs and a crotch down there. That's not who you are. That's who you choose to experience in this timeline of who you're trying to find yourself as or define yourself as on this great cosmic wheel that's spinning around out there. This is going to go on for eternity, guys. This isn't a one-shot deal. I told you that I have died over 3,200 times, but in reality, we've been doing this for billions of years. Researchers have just now shown that the universe is close to 13 billion years old because they're starting to see further and further out there. Okay, well, guess what? There's galaxies older than that. We have been doing this for billions of years, popping into lives, all right? Going around trying to figure out who we are. And once you figure out who you are, you really don't have many more lives to do. You've accomplished what you've come into this physical reality to do. I have done that through death. Now, I wouldn't encourage any of you to go drown yourself in a lake. It's very uncomfortable. It's very painful, actually, drowning. It sucks. It's not peaceful. So whoever says, oh, drowning is peaceful, wrong. It's extremely painful. You know, Jason, I'm going through a spiritual awakening. I am in the what happens next phase. Well, good for you to beginning to awaken. And in the what's next phase, there is none. There is nothing. You're already there. Don't you understand that? You're already there. Everything you want, everything, you're not to need anything, but everything that is here is happening now. You have and are everything. It is taking place right now. The past doesn't exist. All right? It doesn't exist. The future, if you stand here waiting, I'm going to wait patiently. I'm going to do this. In 15 years, you're going to be standing in the same place going, the fuck, man, what just happened? Where did 15 years go? And I'm still stuck in the same place, right? Your mindset is stuck in the same place. That's why nothing has changed. You have to change your thoughts. So the next phase is right now. Okay, so live your life right now. Don't choose fear, choose love. And if somebody comes up and hurts you, slaps you, says you're nothing but a piece of shit, a low-life motherfucker that isn't worth anything, what do? You say, you know what? You're just lost. I love you. That's okay. It's a version of me that doesn't understand. Love them and forgive them. And then move on. Love with everything that you do. Everything that you do. When you go to bed, love yourself. You know, how many times a day do you not dishonor, but deny God? You deny him every single day, thousands and thousands of times. When you say, I'm not good enough to be in a good relationship, therefore, there's your first denial of God. When Jesus said, you will deny me 3 times, what is he talking about when he said that? When he said, you know, do you love me? I don't know you. There's a denial. You're saying you don't know yourself. That is denying God. If you say, I'm not good enough to be a preacher or a teacher or a spiritual guru, there's another denial of God. Okay, so you deny God constantly throughout your day. I'm not good enough to have a good husband. I'm not good enough to have a good wife. Denial of yourself, therefore the denial of God. Let's see. No NDE can answer why scientist life feeds on other science life to survive here. This is so sick and twisted. What do you say? No, unfortunately, it's okay for you to feel that way. You're the one that's lost. And that's okay. That is absolutely fine and wonderful. You can be mad all you want, but this is the truth. This is 1000% the truth. And that is why I came here to teach. And part of the fear that I had before starting everything was exactly, you know, what was taking place right here. the negative comments, the hate, the not knowing of this certain individual. And I was, forgiveness. I forgive you. That's fine. You just don't know who you are. And that is absolutely fine. And I've had more than just my NDE. I've had out of body experience, meetings with angels, my guide. I'm having constant what you call spiritual encounters on my path of truth and my awakening. And that's fine. That's fine. You can be that way, crazy. Was it crazy realm? Yeah, that's fine. I forgive you, and that's okay. You're right where you need to be, and that's fine. That there's nothing wrong with that. But for you to come here or onto anybody's channel and to say that what we're speaking about is wrong because you don't know the truth, because you haven't experienced it, that's fine. It would be like me telling a woman that has children, I'm sorry, giving birth doesn't hurt. What you're talking about is nothing but lies. As a matter of fact, I'll even go into further depth, is that you're nothing more than a drug addict. So you just wanted all of this stuff to satisfy an urge. But I'm sorry, childbirth doesn't hurt. Now, for me to say that would be ludicrous. Why? I've never given birth. How do I know what it is? To somebody that hasn't had an NDE and have all these spiritual things happen to them, especially afterwards, is, I'm not going to say wrong. It's just, you just don't know what you're talking about. You haven't experienced it. And that, therefore, I just forgive you. So, well, thank you, Crazy. I am deeply honored. Thank you. Let's see, guys. My eyes are bad, so I got to put on my glasses. I didn't think anybody would show up today. Crazy Realm. Actually, I think that plays right into what Indians are saying about the things personally worse than the mature. Nothing that we may learn from it. You're simply here to find out who you are, to figure out who you are in the scheme of things. That's why a lot of people say, is Adolf Hitler in heaven? Of course he's in heaven. In his life and what he was trying to do, he was trying to figure out who he was. Like we're all doing. Nobody here is perfect. So, but we all label that as he was evil, he was this, he was that. Well, what was worse than Adolf Hitler is that a whole country followed him willingly and participated in that. He had the idea, he was trying to figure out who he was, but millions of people swarmed around him and then acted upon that. That's what blows my mind. The environment that we live in is created by us. We need to fix it. We need to fix it now because we're in serious trouble, guys. All right. And I've been telling you this. I've been telling you what is coming with World War III and all of this. We need to clean up the environment. We need to stop fossil fuels. We need to stop automobiles. We need to stop nuclear reactors because it's poisoning the earth in a massive way. We need to clean up the garbage. We can all do that right now as a collective consciousness. We can make it all go away right here, right now. We can be living in a pristine planet. We can be living in abundance of everything. But this is what we choose on a daily basis. This has nothing to do with God. He gave us free will. This is all our thoughts. Yeah, that material phenomenon for us to learn from. We've got to fix it. We're the one that put it here, so we've got to fix it. God's not going to come down here, hold his hands. Okay, now this is what we got to do. No, we have to fix this. And until we do, we are going to remain a very primitive species, which is exactly what we are. We have not gotten out of diapers. All right? We have not gotten out of diapers. We're in preschool. That's where we are on the evolutionary scale of from the more highly advanced, because there is intergalactic travel in the Milky Way. You see it. You've seen UFOs, some of you. They're real. We're being watched. Not only is interstellar travel, there's interdimensional travel taking place, guys. All right. In between dimensions, in between different realities, it is taking place. And we can't even stop killing each other. We can't even stop telling somebody we hate them. And it's got me thinking about how like all elections these days are centered around the lies and fear of materialism. That's it. That's absolutely it. Fear. It's a massive tool. Germany used it during World War II very effectively. Those that did not follow the line, they were rounded up and they were executed. Fear. What did it keep you doing? It kept your mouth shut. What did the church do for thousands of years? The church did exactly the same thing, guys. Back then, the church had the power to kill you. Right? If you spoke out against the church, if you brought new ideas to who we were, you were rounded up and executed or thrown in prison and tortured. And that's coming from an institution that supposedly loves you and is here to save you. You don't need to be saved. There's nothing to save you from. Who are you going to save yourself from? Yourself? Right? You don't understand who you are. That's the problem. If you knew who you were, like me, you would live in the one thing that you live in. That is love. My love for all of you. Now, if we all lived in that state, would we be in the situation that we're in right now? No. Jesus came here to teach you that. He came here to tell you who you were, how to get and do what he was doing. Jason, I was asking, why did Source make a realm where a pack of lions eat zebras alive? Why do some people take their newborn, put it in a plastic bag after it's just born, and walk out to the dumpster and throw it in the dumpster? Free will. We have to eat. It's our primitiveness that is what is taking place that you're seeing. So when you see a lion killing a zebra or a baby antelope or this or that, we're no different when we have to kill a cow, when we have to milk cows or kill a deer, eat something. If we don't eat, we die. If you think that when you pull a grape off a vine, that it's just okay, you're doing the same thing. You're eating its flesh. You just killed it. You took it from its nutritional source and you killed it. When you pull something out of the ground and, oh my God, look at that carrot, and you just killed it. It was once alive. We have to eat. That is how primitive we are. Now we are advancing out of this. Now, if you look at most highly advanced civilizations, one, they live in love and they decide to look at the collective. And if somebody is suffering, they all suffer because of it. So they help that one that suffers. So, and also in that, in their higher realms, they don't eat. Their bodies are maintained by source, by the non-physical. They don't eat. They don't need to. They're of a higher vibration. When Jesus was like 2 weeks before his crucifixion, he stopped eating. He didn't eat anything anymore for like 2 or 3 weeks. He ate very little. His body was being taken care of by the non-physical. So we have to evolve, ladies and gentlemen. We have to. It's inevitable. The zebra, I know. Hey, Jason, if our lives are pre-planned before we're born, does that mean we can't manifest? No. That's what Father is hoping you do, because when you live in the moment of now, if you're not happy with where you are, you have to change it. How do I change that, Jason? I'm not happy in my marriage anymore. I've been trying for years, right? Okay, leave. If that's not who you are in that moment of now and it's causing you pain and suffering, you have to fix that. Leave your marriage. Leave, or leave the relationship that you're in. Find out who you are at any given point in the timeline that you're in. Same thing with the job. If you're not happy, why do most people stay in their jobs? It pays the bills. But if it's not paying the bills anymore and you're miserable, it's not worth it. Leave. Your job doesn't give you 2 weeks notice. Hey, starting on Monday, you have 2 weeks and then we're firing you. No. If you're not happy in your job, leave. Find out who you are. You may be in the corporate world and you hate every minute of it. You want to go work at Stein's Garden and Gifts as a gardener. Go do that. Go be you. but you're so worried about what other people think. Well, my family's going to think I've lost my mind because I quit my corporate job to become a gardener, or start my own plantation business, or this. Who cares? You're not here to please anybody else. You're here to please who you are. My point is that source, aka the light, made it that way. Fear stops us from making changes. You're correct. It keeps you paralyzed. That's exactly what the church does. It keeps you paralyzed, living in fear that there's going to be a human God up there to smite thee for any small infraction, when in point, that is not the truth. You are loved, you are guided, you are not judged in anything you have done or will ever do in this existence, ever, because you are in the eternal quest of finding out who you are, who you choose to be right now. And that is constantly changing. Why? Because you're ascending, you're growing, you're gaining that knowledge. So your perception of, again, like I said, right and wrong, good or bad, from 10 days ago to a year ago isn't the same. You're not in that same spot anymore. Because if you just stood still, what's the point of coming here? It would be like remaining in love. If you don't know if all you know is love, how do you know what fear is? Hate. You've come here to figure that out. And on that quest and that journey, that is what you are doing. Will be an effective system if a spiritual revolution takes place. Right now, what would benefit the world greatly is a one world government. Period. We need to be governed. There's no doubt about it. We're too primitive. We can't handle it on our own. We've shown what we're capable of. And if you look out in the world today, that shows exactly what we're capable of: hate, anger, rage, violence, rape, murder. We need to be governed. But all 160 nations are governed under one government, a united government that is and always will be for the benefit of everybody else, meaning money would be gone, right? We wouldn't need to worry about money. We would say work on a credit system. Well, Jason, you're going to find people that don't want to work. Well, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. So when the needs of the many rise to the occasion and show love and support to those who are unwilling will begin to rise up and benefit and help the world, so to speak. So yes, we need a governing system, but it needs to be one, and everybody is held under that one government. And a system of credits, say that system of credits goes no higher than 25 million, right? But under that government, everybody's needs are met. Everybody will have a home. Everybody's home will be filled with food. There will be a lack of nothing in anybody. Now, can you imagine everybody having that? How the love of everybody else will make them rise into the better beings that we are. You still have the ability to make money, but nobody will go above, say, I won't even say 25. I'd say 10 million. If you can't live off of $10 million a year, I'm sorry, then there's something wrong. All right. But if we lived and say one nation said, no, we're going to war. Well, then guess what? 159 nations are going to come and get you. And I guarantee you it won't last very long, right? And then what do? You accept them back into the fold lovingly, beautifully, and acceptingly. There is no punishment, right? They tried to figure out who they were. It didn't work. We bring them back into the fold and we all come together as one. And I'm telling you, we will advance in every form there is because we choose love. How do you view AI through the lens of? So AI is going to advance us into places that are unimaginable. That's going to advance our society into the next level. And that is what's coming. If you noticed, when a lot of you didn't want Trump to win, that's okay. But did you notice in his first public meeting or conference when he was signing orders. What was one of the very first that he signed into law? The further and rapid advance of AI. Trump needed to win because by him initiating this program, AI, it's going to advance us into unimaginable places. We are going to be working with advanced technologies. It'll make cancer look like the common cold. We will be working and becoming energy efficient, meaning all of our energy is now coming from the sun, clean energy from the sun. Solar technology will rule this planet. All our energy needs are going to come from the sun. And I'd say about 10% will come from clean fusion. Clean fusion. No more nuclear mess, no more nuclear waste. Clean fusion. And AI is going to get rid of fossil fuels. That is going to help clean up the planet. So it was important that Trump win just because of the AI that he is now allowing further and further development of. It's going to take us into unimaginable places. This species, believe it or not, is growing rapidly, ascending rapidly. So, hi, Nicholas. I'm generally curious. If hell isn't real, then what is it that some people experience when they have an insane? All right, bud. There's a video that I did on that. Okay, it's in my channel. I would highly encourage you to go watch that. I call it, it's all about energy. All right. Remember who you are. And I'll just give you a brief rundown on it. Okay, Nicholas? You simply exist as energy. All right. That's it. You're not your body. You're nothing else but a blob of energy. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transferred. So those that experience, if you listen to Howard Storm, I will use my example of my NDE in his example. In my example, I cried out to God. I knew I was dying. I knew there was somebody there. I hadn't spoken to him in 40 years, over 40 years. And I cried out to him in love. Please don't let me die. Please, I love my children here. Listen to the words that I'm using. All right, listen carefully. I love my children. Please don't take them from me. I love them. I love you. I love Jesus. I am sorry I abandoned you. I love you. I never stopped believing in you. And to my twin flame, who I won't mention her name, please don't take her from me. Please let me hold her hand. Please let me smell her breath. Please let me make love to her. Please, I cannot go home without her. Please, I love her. My NDE took place. I was in nirvana, oneness. I was home. I connected with my Father. The Father and I are one. I had the most beautiful and loving near-death experience. Take Howard Storm. Gets very sick. He's laying in the hospital dying. I can't die. I have a great job. I'm a professor. I make a lot of money. I have a lot of cars. I have a good wife. I have a good home. I can't die. He's living in fear, right? I can't die. He's terrified. What is fear? Low vibrational energy. You're in the basement. You're in the dark, right? So now all of a sudden he passes. He's in the other realm, home. He's screaming at his wife, "Hey, hey!" He's terrified. Why can't you listen? Why won't you listen to me? And then he hears something, right? He's creating his near-death experience, but he's creating that near-death experience out of fear, dark energy. So when he walked out into the hallway and he saw these hooded beings that dragged him into a black abyss and started tearing him apart, right? He's creating all of this out of fear. He's making it happen in front of him right now. Remember that you are a God. You are a creator. Your thoughts create your reality. He was creating this reality instantly. He's not in the physical realm anything. When you think of something, it instantly manifests in front of you. You are a creator. So in that, then, what did he start to do? Because he was an atheist. He didn't believe in God. He didn't believe in where he was and what was happening to him. So what did he do? Yeah, Jesus, our Father, God, please, Jesus, boom, the light appears. Whoop, he raised his energy, and now he was in oneness. He was in the light. Father had come to him. But until he can recognize who he is, who he was, you're going to sit there until you figure it out. And that is why some people will have a dark near-death experience. They will, what you call a hellish experience. It doesn't exist. It exists here because who told you it exists? Grown-ups. You were taught that from the time you were a child through the institution that you live in this government, wherever you are, and through your parents, through what they learned from their parents, through the church. You learned from grown-ups that hell exists. There is a demon. There is this. It doesn't exist. And that is the only reason some people will have a dark near-death experience and, like me, have a beautiful, loving near-death experience. Who experience nirvana? Now, there's 3 different types. We just talked about 2. Okay, we talked about the dark one, which is a personalized near-death experience. You are creating heaven. You are creating your existence on the other side. Again, you're a God. Your thoughts create your reality. So he chose to have a dark one. The second one I just talked about is oneness, nirvana, bliss, where I and the Father are one. When I said it, for all that I am you. I chose to return to oneness in my near-death and that is exactly what I experienced. That was my Father there. That was the light. That was the energy that I once again joined. All right. Now, the third type of near-death experience, or what you would create when you go home, is a common one where all of a sudden you've heard a near-death experience. They wake up and they're in a field and they see all kinds of relatives and beautiful homes and mountains and gardens and beautiful flowers, right? Well, they join the collective in that moment of their own near-death experience. So they just join the collective, what like you guys and all of us here in the physical realm are experiencing, the collective. This is what our combined consciousness is creating. And thus that is what they experience. Hopefully that worked for you. Hi, Jason. Hey, Big Black. How you doing? It's good to see you. It turned into a live today. I was going to do a video, but, I didn't do it Friday, my live. So it's like, let's do it Sunday. See if these guys are out and about and what they're doing. So how can we explain existence of these people from a spiritual point of view? What is the purpose? What are they disconnected from love and everything that we look for? How can we explain the existence of these people? From what people are you trying to explain from that point of view? What is the purpose? The purpose of us being here is to rediscover who we are in whatever situation that we're in right now. So whatever you're doing in your life, your job, your marriage, this, that, your children, you are constantly discovering who you are every minute, every millisecond of the day. So from the point of spirituality, it comes from where are you standing in that right now? If you choose love, then that's what you choose, which is what I choose. But I choose love and I choose the truth. I want you all to wake up and realize who you are, that you are in the process of discovering who you are through the experiences that you're having right here. You can have beautiful experiences or you can have negative experiences, non-abundance, suffering, illness, no money, barely making the bills, can't feed your kids. If you choose that, then that's what you're going to experience. Look at the message above. I'm talking about, the psychopath. If that's what he chooses to be, then that's who he chooses to be. Just like we'll use Adolf Hitler. That's who he chose to be in his discovery of finding out who he is. You can't judge that person. I don't judge Hitler for it. I don't judge any of them. That's them discovering who they are. Just like Jeffrey Dahmer or John Wayne Gacy or Elaine Warhol or Ed Gein. They were all here trying to figure out who they are in the time that they had. That's all. We look at it and we as humans decide to, oh, that was bad. That was wrong. That was hideous. That was gross. We don't get to judge. We're not judged. Nobody here listening to me or will listen to this video is 100% perfect. There was only one man, one being that was perfect. He lived 2 millennia ago. The rest of us are flawed in every way, shape, and form. I admit it. I own it. I know my mistakes. I own it. I forgave myself and I've moved on past that. I have risen so far above. But you can't look at somebody and say he's a psychopath because he's trying to figure out who he is. You can't look at Vladimir Putin right now and say he's a bad man. He's horrible. He's this, he's that. He's figuring out where he stands and who he is at this point in time. Now, do I like the wars taking place? No. No, I wish they would stop. I'm tired of the suffering. I'm tired of the non-love. So you can't look at somebody and say he's a psychopath because he's choosing who he is in this moment of now. And I know that you may not like that, but that's simply the truth. You're doing exactly the same thing. Okay? So who we got here? Lori. Hi, Lori. Hello, all beautiful souls here. And of course, hi, hon. Thanks for coming. So, I mean, that's really what it was when I came on to say, why did I leave Christianity when I had my near-death experience? And that was why. People have support. People have support the consequence of these people. You know, people that you can't look at them for supporting them because in the now moment, that's who they thought they were. But like I said, are any of you right now the same person you were a year ago in your beliefs of what you believe, which are relative terms of right and wrong, good or bad? And I bet you many of you will say, no, that's not who I am anymore. Then you've changed. So you can't stick to that term of that's bad. You're in the moment of now, and that moment of now isn't the same being that was a year ago. So we're evolving is what I'm saying. Okay, we are evolving as a species. So we cannot sit there and say, well, he's a psychopath. She was bizarre. She murdered men. All of you, every single person here, and that will this video is timeless, that will listen to this video, all right, you have killed people. It may not be in this lifetime, but I promise you in other lifetimes, you have killed people. I had an experience. It was a profound experience. It was a dream, but it was a lucid dream. And I asked Father, have I killed people? Being who I am now, I said, I couldn't fathom killing people. And I had such a lucid dream, a real dream, and I was shown the truth, where I was a murderer. I went around killing people. And the people that were around me, I have known my entire existence. They were a part of it. And there I was murdering people. As clear as day, without a conscience. I was shown a past life where I was a murderer. And I was horrified. I'm going to get emotional now. We have all done things in our lives in the search for who we are. And that is the whole purpose of the cosmic wheel. We are constantly reinventing ourselves. When we live this life and it ends, we will go home. We will experience beautiful, wonderful things, whatever you choose. And then on the cosmic wheel of life, at any point in time, we can re-enter one of these lives and relive it or try and do something. But why would we? We've risen above that. So we constantly go on a new adventure in finding out who we are. But I was shown a past life where I was a murderer. I murdered people. And I was horrified. It still horrifies me. There was no judgment. How could I go home if I was a murderer? So it's all relative to discovering who we are. So that's all I'm saying. What would I encourage you guys to? I just bought 3 new books. I remember in one of the, so I got this book because now I am learning about my chakras and healing them and going through those energetic things. So I got that book. And then I got this one, The Kundalini Awakening. I was reading about it, and when you get all your chakras lined up to where they are, nirvana happens. You basically go home, but you're still in a physical body, all right, without death. So, guide to that, which is the same thing with the chakras. And this one I've read or I've heard very good things about. Um, so that is what, and I'm finishing up a trilogy, guys, right now called Conversations with God. I highly encourage each and every one of you to read this trilogy. Everything that I experienced in my NDE are in these books. This is book 1. This is book 2. And right now, as you can see in this one, I am still reading it. I am almost done with it. I will be finishing it up probably this week. Is the 3rd book. It is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. This will help you all understand what I'm talking about, the depth that this person goes into, because he is speaking to God. All right. Those are some excellent books that will help you on your way. And of course, I have this, but I have not read it yet. I just bought this one too, which is Course in Miracles. So I would highly encourage you guys to get that one as well, because nobody's going to do this for you. You came here, guys, to do the work. You came here to figure out who you are. That takes work. You're all entranced by this materialistic world, the haves and the have. I got to have a bigger house. I've got to have more shoes. I've got girls. I've got to have more underwear. You guys have 5,000 pairs of underwear. You only got one crotch. What do you need 50 pairs of, underwear for? You're drawn into the illusion. You're drawn into the game. It's meant to entrance you. It's meant to suck you in until you realize the truth that it's an illusion. It's a game, that it means nothing. And therefore, when I want something, it is in a spiritual form. It's in a spiritual connection. I want more knowledge. I want the truth. I want validation or more of it. So those are the things that I am now working on to help myself, help me along the journey. I want more, and I will read this 800-page book, and I will figure out and I will align my chakras. So when you guys ask me, what am I doing? These are the things that I am doing in my search. I want more. I will not stand for just, okay, I've had this. No, I'm having more and more experiences. And that's because I'm choosing it. My mindset isn't that of love. My mindset isn't that of a higher version of me, my grandiose version. And this is what I'm doing. I'm a teacher. I'm a messenger. I am a guru. Something that I was told to do from the time I was a little kid in high school. Jason, you should become a teacher. And I've explained this to you guys, right? And then in college, my college professor, my history professor, the dean, he said, Jason, would you please teach? Your papers are phenomenal. Please teach. I'm like, no. And the universe was giving it to me. You're a teacher. This is what you came here to do. And I kept shrugging it off. So I went down the wrong path, and I struggled my whole life. And here I am doing exactly what I told myself I would not do. And it took my death to do it. So, what did you learn from these books that you don't know already? Can you explain a little more? What did I learn? I guess what I really learned from these books were, even though I had that experience and that knowledge, was that truth being driven home by Father, especially in conversations with God. His absolute certainty of what I experienced to be the truth. Just seeing it written down and it coming from Father was, I guess, the ultimate therapy for me. the seeing this was, and seeing his sense of humor. I did not experience his sense of humor. I experienced oneness. But reading these books, you will see that Father has, or God has, a very big sense of humor about the whole thing. Um, but it's just the matter of factness. He's just stating it pure and simple, like I'm stating it to you, pure and simple. And to see it written down that way is just beautiful, beautiful. It will profoundly affect you guys. And a lot of you guys will be reading this and going, there's no fucking way, right? But all of you are coming here to not just me, but to other near-death experiences. And why do you keep coming here? Why do you keep coming to Jason? Because something within you is telling you, listen, this is right. You may hate it. You may want to leave. You may want to flip me the double bird, say, but something is drawing you in and saying, listen, it's deep within you. It's who you really are talking to you, right? And saying, listen, this is the truth. This is it. This is it. And you keep getting drawn in further and further. And then one day you're going to wake up and realize, you're going to look outside and say, I'm done with this shit. I don't want any more of it. I'm not buying into it. I don't want it. I choose peace. I choose love. I choose serenity. I choose me. You all came here to work on yourselves. You all came to be self-centered, not egotistical, not maniacal. You came here to be self-centered in the truth of discovering who you are. You cannot let anybody or anything interfere with that, including a government, your children. Like, my children want to spend time with me. I spend very little time with my children at all. I am worried about me and myself right now. They're fine. They're God's too. They came here to discover who they are. They need to go discover it. I love them dearly. I will see them, but I see very little of them. I see nothing of my family. Nobody in my family. I am all alone. Right now I'm a hermit, but I am in full on education mode. All right. And the disappearance of the universe, straight talk about illusions, past lives, religion, sex, politics, and the miracles of forgiveness. You have no idea, guys, when you can truly forgive someone, when you are in utter tears, in your truest, in your purest moment of forgiving somebody who has grievously hurt you, how good that feels to let that dark energy leave you. And it will leave you. Father will take it from you. When you truly forgive, it is beyond powerful. And I tell you, everybody, to love one another and to truly forgive those who have hurt you, no matter what it has been done to you. Truly forgive them. And Jesus taught this. This was his message. This is what the church is hiding from you. Your true power, who you are as a God. Why most of the CJC, why most of the self-realized masters are in India and the Himalayas? Because in the West, we're a newer society, we're a newer civilization. Everything that was occurring millennia ago, 2000, 4000, and so on, was happening in the East. So these types of things, these types of masters have always been around. God has sent them, like Buddha, like Sri Ramakrishna, and so on and so forth, have been from the East. Why do you think, where do you think Jesus learned what he learned from? When he was very young, like 21, 22, he traveled across North Africa. And if you watched my video on the real Jesus, I explained this. He traveled across, and he left Mary, he left his girlfriend, he left everything, and he traveled on a caravan out to India. And there in India, he spent 3 years learning from the masters over there of the truth. And how did he know to go there? Well, he was being divinely, God was talking to him like I'm talking to you. Conversation. Hey, you need to go out there and this is what you need to do. So along that journey, he had to work. He was loading ships. He was doing whatever he needed to do to get some bling to keep traveling, to keep his paying. And that's where he learned from the masters out east, where raising people from the dead, curing sickness, curing cancer is no big deal. Even to this day, out east, It's a common thing. People look at it as like, yeah, so what? It's only here in the West that it has been driven from us fully by the religious institutions that have placed the being that you know as Jesus Christ on a pedestal out of reach of everybody, when that's what he wasn't intended to do. So, good morning, Leo. Good to see ya. Yeah, it's good to see you. Blessings to you. I love you very much. Thanks for joining me. And this was going to be unexpected. I came here to do a video this morning, and then somebody answered, texted me and says, why'd you leave Christianity? And it kind of got me riled up. And my other video isn't out that I did over a week ago. He's been busy. So that video, I was like, well, this one's just going to sit too. Let's just do, let's come on live. Let's talk. I had a bone to pick with that person that sent me that. So that is why I came on live today and not Friday. So, but that's the purpose. Jesus went out east. He learned from the masters. He learned how to meditate. He learned how to go within. All our power is centered right here within us. A softball size of God's spark, of God, of oneness within us. And it's all waiting for us to discover. And that is what the church is hiding from you. The church does not want you to know who you are, because with you knowing who you are, with you knowing that you are God, that your power, that you are no different than Jesus Christ, they lose all power. They lose all wealth. And that is what I am here to teach. That you must go within. There are books, there are NDEers, there is knowledge out there that I am giving you and pointing you in directions, but you guys need to do the work. I can lead a horse to water, but I can't make him drink. I can teach all of you this. I can show you the direction that you need to go. I can show you the meditation techniques, which you don't have to sit crisscross applesauce. It doesn't. When you're doing the dishes and you're in your head thinking about the day, you're meditating, you're creating. If you're sitting in the shower and you're washing up and you're in your thoughts. I had a beautiful day. I had beautiful time with my partner, and we're going to do this, that, and the other. You are creating. You are meditating. You are creating the now. All right. You don't have to be in a sitting position. You could wake up in the early morning hours and lay there and meditate. Talk to God. Talk. Go within yourself. Rediscover who you are. Let's see. Is wealth neutral or distraction? God wants you to be wealthy. It's you who's stopping you from not being wealthy. Like I stopped my whole self. I felt unworthy of Here, this is a good example. I was taught money is the root of all evil. If money is evil, guess what? I believe it. If I believe money is evil, is money going to come to me? No. Why? My thoughts are that of money is evil. So I'm going to go to a job that I hate, but I'll take that money because I am unworthy of money. Do you see the correlations here? So I'm taking money for a job that I hate. So why can't I have a job that I love teaching and have that abundance of wealth come into me? Because now I believe that I love money. Money is not the root of all evil. I love it. I'm in abundance of everything. So money is now starting to come to me. Why? Because I smashed that disbelief that money is evil, that it's the root of all our problems. It's not. I was the problem. I was the problem all along. So I had to go in and start cleaning up these chakras, the disbeliefs, the stuff that was given to me that was wrong. All right. And all those 7 of them have a distinct purpose. And when people that are really high in energy, they can see my aura, which I have been told is green, magenta, and blue. So, which is the throat, the heart, and the third eye. So no, there's nothing wrong with money. Money is beautiful. Just remember that. I love money. I love sex. Your sexual energy, your divineness in your sexual energy is just as beautiful and pure. There's nothing wrong with it. Another myth created by the church that masturbation is wrong. You are to love yourself above all others, period. That includes loving yourself, which is masturbating, loving yourself, telling yourself how beautiful you are. It is perfect. Should be doing it on a daily basis. And the same thing when it comes to sex with your partner. It does not matter if it is same sex or it is heterosexual sex between a man and it does not matter. It is divine. It is given to you. It is pure. It is beautiful. Your sexual needs and wants. If you are not compatible with your partner on everything, whether you want to learn and explore or what you call kinky sex, is just as beautiful. If that is who you are in the moment of now, and it is agreed upon by your partner, I don't care what you're doing, neither does God, as long as you are in love and experiencing your sexual divinity, your sexual energy through love. You will reach home because you are in alignment with your higher self, which is love. It's always pointing you in that direction. You will never go wrong when you are in the moment of now, which is love. And the moment you're out of alignment with your true self, what are you? You're pissed off, you're angry, you're upset, you're smashing things, and that's your higher self saying, hey, we're out of alignment. Hey, step back, take a look. What's got you all riled up? Look at that moment, step outside, fix it, and then get back into the moment of now, which is your true self of love. So it says Super Twang. It says the point of it seemed to be that us first worlders should be helping the poor more. Well, those that are less fortunate, like you just say, the poor, that is you. Don't you understand? How many people are in here? It says we have 14. How many people are here right now? I'll make it very easy for you. There's only one person here. That's God. We're all the same. We're all one. There's only one person here. And when you step out to go to the grocery store and you're looking at all the automobiles and everybody moving around, well, how many people are there? One. When you go to work and you're working, how many people are at work? One. So yes, when we help those who are less fortunate than us, we help them get on our feet, we help them with food, we help them with shelter, then what do? They get on their feet and they're like, oh my God, somebody help. They help others. Don't you see, when the haves, don't want to give up to the have-nots because they think they're going to be losing all their power. But when you help those who are less fortunate rise to equality, they will work with you to create more abundance, more technology, more beautiful things. But the have-nots, the haves don't want to give that up to the have-nots. They've created laws and institutions that protect their wealth from us ever reaching that point. So yes, by helping those that have less will help all of us rise to become the advanced civilizations that we need to be. And that's what makes advanced civilizations advanced, with their technology, with their space travel, with everything. Why? Because they look out for those that don't have or who are lacking. We're the cause of all the problems. The moment we see of this that I'm teaching you that we need to do, we rise above. We become an advanced species. And the places that are going to take us there and how we're going to get there is through AI. We need to evolve. We need to love one another. Yes, that bum that you see on the street that's missing teeth, that hasn't shaved or hasn't bathed in a year, going through the garbage can for food, that's you. And the moment you can see that and feel that and do something about it, we all benefit, for we are all one. Hey, Jason, I know it's all about it, but did you read the book about that little boy that went to heaven? I think he was in the dentist chair, wasn't it? Like Blimpo or Blimpy or something like that. His father was a pastor, a Christian pastor and had his little church and stuff. I think that's who you're talking about, right? And if that's who you're talking about, I did watch the movie on that on Netflix, and it really threw a monkey wrench into his church. People were asking him to step down because what his son was doing was unacceptable to the Christians. That how can that possibly be? How could he possibly be talking about things that he would in otherwise shape or form have no idea about? Because what he's telling you all is like, I didn't know in one of the movies, he says, Mom, I didn't know we had a sister. And his mom's like, well, of course you do. And she goes, no, you had a baby die in your tummy. And she stopped dead in the tracks. Dad stops dead in the tracks. And he's like, she hugged me and hugged me and hugged me. And she says, well, what was her name? And the little boy said, you didn't give her a name. She died in your tummy. How could he know this? And yet this pastor who is a Christian, he's got no explanation. He can't not deny what his son is telling him, the truth. How could he possibly know these things? How could he be talking about Jesus and telling everybody what Jesus looks like when in fact he's saying it doesn't look like anybody that you've ever seen? Jesus doesn't look like that, or what the pictures make him look like. So yeah, you know, listen, God is sending you messengers all the time. He's helping us or trying to help us succeed as a species. Bella, hi Bella. I love you too, hon. It's good to see you here. Thanks for showing up. This was the spur of the moment thing again. I was going to do a video and I just kind of got rubbed the wrong way and it turned into a video. And my video, I have a video out already, but it just hasn't been edited yet. It's been like a week and a half. So I'm sorry. And I'm not ignoring you guys. My hands are tied at the moment. So, and I'm like, you know what? Let's just come on live. Let's share a Sunday morning together and love each other. So listen to those guys. Listen, especially listen to the kids. Kids are in such high frequency that it's imperative that you listen to them. They are telling you without question or doubt their experience with God, with Jesus, with past family members, past lives, you know, great grandparents, and they know them and they've spent time with them. They get sent back and they're telling you about this and they're like, oh, he's 7. What the hell does he know? No, he knows exactly what he's talking about and what he just experienced. I was more alive dead than I ever have in this body, in this physical realm. And let's clear one thing up too, real quick, that you think your soul is within you, right? It's not. Imagine a soul like a bubble, that when you see a bubble, and sometimes people can put something inside that bubble or like a balloon, right? And you're like, how's that possible? Your soul envelops you. It encompasses you. All right. It's not something that comes out of you. It comes over you. And your soul does not like limitations because we are limitless. We are boundless. There's no limitations on us, not now or ever. So when it is very difficult, as I've said, I don't like being in the body at all. I want to go home all the time. I don't want to be here, but regardless, it's very hard on the soul to come into a body, to be in the body, to be the body. It encompasses, like when something washes over us, we're wrapped in a big bubble, but that big bubble encompasses all of us. And that big bubble is oneness, is God. That's why I say there's 15 people here, but really there's only one person, and that is God. I am talking to myself. That's all. So that bubble encompasses all of us, but yet each one of us, as we step out away from oneness, is our own bubble, is our own soul. And we have no issues or worries when our adventure is over. We simply leave the body. And I cannot wait to go home, to leave the body. So again, that encompasses that we are all one, that there's one soul, and that is God. So how can God condemn himself or command himself like the Bible says in the Ten Commandments? Who's he going to command? There's nothing to command. Himself? He doesn't need to. He already knows everything. We all know everything. Why? We're God. We're one. So who's he going to command? There's what army? There's nothing to command. We're simply on a journey, as I said before, guys, that lead nowhere. We're on like the hamster wheel. We're round and round and round. We stop in the moment of now. Well, that's not me. I didn't care for doing that. Well, that sucked. Well, that was fun. Well, let's try that again. Right? We're just on a journey that goes nowhere. It's called the process of life. We've been doing it for billions of years, and we're going to continue to do it for billions of years. And I want to leave it on that. It's been an hour. Look at that. How beautiful. Hour and 15 minutes. Thanks for showing up, guys. Let's see. What does Bella say? Always glad. Are you still receiving any more message? They're playing tricks on me. They took my glasses case. I couldn't find it for a week. And I was like, what is going on? And then I went into the kitchen to go do dishes, right? Came back, and this glasses case was sitting on my keyboard that I just left. Come on. So they're playing games. And after a night of meditation, I have a picture of my twin flame. I turned it into a cute little electronical thing. But anyway, as I was sitting here completely in the dark, I opened my eyes and it was lit up, turned on. There she is looking at me, right? The control for it is over there by my computer. I have no access to it over here. So they turned on the light. So they're constantly telling me, they're here, that I am in alignment with my goals, my needs, my abundance is coming. I've been seeing two major numbers lately in quadruple forms, 7777 and 777 and 9999 and triple nines and quadruple nines. I am seeing them on a massive scale. And that is just absolute confirmation that things are arriving, things are happening, you need to be, and hold the patience just a little while longer. So yes, I am getting those divine interventions and messages still. What's your opinion on the people that are saying that The Simpsons predict the future? Because there are people thinking there is no such thing as zombies. There's going to be no apocalypse. Don't worry about that. Triple ones, yeah. Go to Google. Now, don't take any. Go to Google, right? Type in angel numbers. So when we're done here, and I'm going to leave here in a minute, I'm going to go make some lunch or a late breakfast, but go to Google and type in spiritual numbers, angel numbers. All right. And it'll come up with a list of 111, 222, 333, and it'll go on through them like 2121 or whatever, 444, and they'll have several meanings there. Find the meaning that when you see it, it resonates with you so profoundly that you'll know it to be true. So in essence, follow your gut intuition. All right. Follow it. Don't dismiss it. Don't let the mind talk you out of it. Listen to it. That's your higher self saying, this is it. So when you see that number 1111, find the meanings, listen to it, and find the one that resonates with you the most. And that will be your clarity and your clarification on that number. So, and again, I did the video on that in my channel as well. So, all right, guys, I'm going to leave you. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I love you guys. I didn't really, truly expect anybody to show up today because it is Sunday. I missed my Friday night, but I am honored. I cannot begin to thank you for your love and support. And for those that have supported my channel financially, have given, you have all my love. I am beyond grateful. I don't ever ask for your like and subscribe. I never have. I never will. This is not about that. This is about me helping you achieve your grandest vision of yourself and rediscovering who you are. And I am forever grateful for your love and support. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Look for the video coming out. Hopefully it'll get done sometime this week. He's just running late, so look on that. And I love you guys, and I wish you a beautiful and a blessed week. All right? All my love.